Good morning, everyone. In today's computer network class, we are going to learn about this DNS, that is Domain Name System, and the electronic mail. This is the last two chapters which is coming under application layer. What is this DNM? That is Domain Name System. If you want to identify your computer in the network, it should be addressed, right? See, if some people would like to find your house, what will you do? You will be giving your address, right? So the same way, if your computer would like to identify in the internet, in the internet means it should be named, right? So that is called as IP address, right? How the normal house is having the address, the same way each and every computer which is in the network will have the address that is called as IP address, right? So this IP address will be in the form of numbers. Okay, so all these numbers cannot be identified easily, so that it has been given with the human readable names. Okay, that is called as the domain name system. Are you all clear? So the computer which would be identified in the internet means it should be addressed. That address will be with different numbers. Those numbers cannot be remembered by everyone. So it should be with the human readable names, which is called as domain name system. Okay, it could have come under 2 marks. So it is a very important question. So the DNS, which is called as DNS, resolves high level human readable names for computers. So to low level IP address. So from the low level IP address, to identify the computer, we are giving a name called DNS. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about DNS namespace, domain resource records, and what are the different name servers are there. Okay. So first we are going to know about why do we need this DNS. Already I told you, if some people would like to find your house, it needs to be addressed. So your house will have the house number, street number, and area number, and then the city. Okay, so the same way, it is very difficult, too difficult to remember the IP address. If the server is changed, everyone would need to be notified of the new IP address. Okay, so that originally one file with names and IP addresses become too large. So the host name conflicts began to occur. So DNS was developed to solve these problems. So to identify a particular IP address and also to remember IP address, it is very difficult. So that if it has been changed also, it is very difficult to remember. So that it could have create some kind of conflicts. So DNS was developed to solve all these kinds of problems. So what is DNS? DNS is a hierarchical domain based naming scheme and a database system for implementing it. Okay, it is used primarily for mapping host names to IP address. Clear? Okay, now we are going to learn in detail about DNS namespace. What is this ICANN? Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. We are having different types of corporations and companies, right? IEEE, like that, many societies. The same way, ICANN is nothing but Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. It was established in the year 1998 to manage the naming hierarchy. Okay, to maintain the naming hierarchy across the network, this DNS was developed. So this is divided into 250 top level domains. Okay, how many domains? 250 top level domains, and each will be partitioned into subdomains. Okay, top domains are 250, top categories are 250, and each category will have some subdomains. So top level domains are generic, that is general, and it may be about countries also. Generic is nothing but it could have been government, it could have been commercial, or it could have been education, like that. Okay. Countries is nothing but each country will have a particular domain. For example, if you take India, it will be IN. If you take US, it will be US, like that. Okay. So the original 1985 domains were COM is nothing but commercial, EDU is nothing but education, GOV is nothing but government, like that. Many top level domains are there. Okay. The detailed information of these domains are there in the remaining slides in the form of tabular column, right? So this top level domains are run by the registrars, which are appointed by ICANN, okay, who have been given the registration for these kinds of domains, that is called as ICANN, okay, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. This corporation will be giving the domain name. New domains have been added, but often with disagreements. Okay, so some of the new domains could have been added. Okay, domain names are not case sensitive. It is not case sensitive. Okay, it could have been any. And to register the domain with the intent, you have to call cyber squatting. Okay, this is the full detailed information about DNS namespace. Okay, next, this is the hierarchical form. Okay, from the root. Okay, that will be two category, that is generic and countries. Generic is nothing but AERO, COM, EDU, GOV, museum, organization, net, like that. These are all countries: AU, JP, UK, US, NL, like that. Okay. So here, what is this AERO? What is this COM? What is this EDU? What is this museum? All these things will be given in this tabular column. See this column. COM is the commercial, which is in 1980. Is it restricted? No, it is not restricted. The same way EDU, and it is also restricted. Some people would don't like to share their information, since it can be controlled, like that. GOV, INT, MIL is nothing but military, NET nothing but network providers, ORG is nothing but non-profit organization, AERO is nothing but air transport, BIC is the businesses, COOP is the cooperatives, info is the informational, museums, name, like that. Many categories are there. Okay. Next, domain resource records. Okay, domains have set of resource records which are associates with them. Okay, so what is this record? What are the details are there in the record? There are 5 informations. First one is the domain name, second one is the time to live, and third one is the which class it belongs to, and fourth one is the type, and fifth one is the value. So how many parts are there? 5 parts. Okay, here TTL, that is a large number which indicates that this is the staple record. Class is telling about internet information, internet information. Always it will be in IN. Type is telling about what kind of record. Okay, what kind of record can be identified in the next slide. Value is nothing but a number which is domain name or a string. So if you see this is called a type. Okay, type means it could be SAO, that is start of authority. A is nothing but IPv4 address of a host. AAA is nothing but IPv6 address of host. MX is nothing but a mail exchange. NS is nothing but name server. CNAM is nothing but a canonical name. PTR is the pointer. SPF is the sender policy framework. SRV is the service. TXT is nothing but a text. Okay, this is known as domain resource records, which is telling about what are the details are there in that particular tuple. A portion of a possible DNS database of cs.vu.nl. This is the website name, cs.vu.nl. Here, these are all the data have been stored. Okay, so like this only, for each and every domain there will be the records. Next one is the name servers. To find the IP address for a given host name is called a resolution, and it is done with the DNS protocol. Okay, To identify the IP address, the host name will be using the resolution. Okay, this will be with the help of DNS protocol. Okay, what is resolution? Computer requests a local name server to resolve. Okay, to identify the data. This local name server will ask the root name server. The root returns the name of the server to a lower zone. Then it will continue down the zones until the name server can answer. Okay. So DNS protocol is nothing but it runs on a UDP port 53. It retransmits lost messages. It catches name server answer for better performance. This is called as the name server. For example, this is the name server flits.cs.vu.nl. So when a local machine sends a query, see, you can take any one of the name server. For example, if you take UV name server, it will send a query to the local server. This local server will send a query to the main server. Okay. Once the query has been identified, this machine will send the result to the local server. Then the local server will certify the answer to the server which is required. Okay. So this is the example of looking up of a IP for a name. Next one is the electronic mail. Here we are going to learn about what is architecture and services, what is user agent, what are the different message formats, what is message transfer. Finally, we are going to see the final delivery. First, we are going to see electronic mail. So, the architecture of the email system consists of two subsystems. Okay, my electronic mails means two subsystems. First one is the user agents and the second one is the message transfer. The user agents, what it will do, it will allow the people to read and also to send an email. The message transfer agent, what it will do, it will move the messages from the source to the destination. Okay, what are the two different parts? User agents, message transfer. User agents will be coordinating with the people, reading and sending a mail. Message transfer will be transferred by the user. This user agent or email readers are programs. They are all programs which is called as Google Gmail, Microsoft product called Outlook, Apple product, Apple Mail, like that. Many softwares are there. What it will do for composing, receiving, editing and replying the messages. Okay. Message transfer agents are usually a system process which run in the background of the mail servers. They use SMTP, that is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, to transfer the messages. You see this figure. This is the user agent. This is the message transfer agent. So the user agent will mail to the message transfer agent. What this will do? This will have a contact with the SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which will transfer the data to the another message transfer agent. This agent will identify the receiver user agent to that particular address. It will be transferred. So these are all the key components and steps to send a mail. So this is the architecture and services of the email. This is the paper mail. This is the electronic mail. Normally when you send the data or when you send a letter to your friend, you will be writing your address, that means envelope, and if you are going to write a friendly letter, means formal or informal letter, you will be writing it. So the same thing is going to be divided into three parts, okay, in electronic mail, that is called as envelope and the message. So this envelope will have the two address to which you are going to send it, and from address will be in the header part, and in the body you are going to send the data which you are going to send. So how this is going to be transferred? That is only mail folders you will be having. In the mail folders, you could get inbox, networks, travel and junk mail. Okay. And in this search box, you will be able to search a particular mail in the mailbox. And this is the mail thing from which person you are going to transfer, about which subject, to which, on which day you received this particular mail. Okay. And for example, this student is telling a mail about, okay, about that the graduate students results. Okay. Next one is the message formats. When you are sending a mail, these are the parts will be there in the mail. Okay. So what are all the different parts? How it is going to be identified? It is the email address to which person you are going to send your address. It may be single or it may be many addresses. CC is nothing but email addresses to the secondary recipient, to some of the other persons also you would like to send, means you can send it. BCC is nothing but blind carbon copies, which is telling about you're sending a letter to your friend. Some of your another friend don't want to know about that particular mail, means you can put their address in the BCC. Okay, they will not know, but they will receive the mail. This person will receive the mail. These persons will also receive it, but this person will not identify. This person will not identified by the person who is receiving this mail. Okay, and from person or people who created the message. From sender will be the email address to actual sender. Received, that means number which is transferred along to the route, and it can be used to identify the path that can back to the sender. Message formats. It will be in the form of ASCII formats. RFC 822 will be in the original format. It will not distinguish the envelope fields from the header fields. RFC 5233 Internet Message Format is used in SMTP. This MIME multi-purpose internet mail extension in 1990s added structure and defined encoding rules from ASCII messages to allow for audio, images and binary files. Okay. So other header which is used in the user agents, date you will be using, reply to, message ID, in reply to, that means to message ID for the message to which this is a reply, like that. And if you want to have some of the references, you can have it. If you would like to use some of the keywords, you can use it. Subject, short summary of the message for the one line display. Okay, what is this MIME? This is the header field which is used to describe what content in the body of the message. So it will identify the version, and it will be in the human readable string which is telling about what is the message, what is in the message, and it will be having a ID which is called as unique identifier, and it can have content transfer encoding, how the body is wrapped for transmission, and it can have content type and the format of the content. Okay, so the common content types and the subtypes. Text means it can plain or HTML or XML, CSS scripts could have been there. Image means it can have any kind of GIF, JPEG, TIFF pictures. Audio means these kinds of audios, and video and model, application, message, multiport, like that. What are the different types of content types you can have in the message formats? So this is the message format. So one part of the HTML, another part is audio, like that you can have any kind of content in the mail. So message transfer. Messages are transferred with SMTP, that is called as Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It will be in the readable text comments. It is the submission of the user agent to MTA on the port 587. That is the port number which is used to submit the data by using the user agent. One MTA to the next message transfer to the next MTA on the port number 25. Other protocols for the final delivery. So this is the message. Here you can see the pink color colored like pink. What are this person is sending a message to this person. Okay. So Alice to Bob. Hello they are sending. From which person? There is Alice. Okay. Bob is replying. Okay. Like that you can have your mail. So while you are using this SMTP, it is not with the simple example. AUTH means client authentication. Binary MIME means server accepts the binary messages. Chunking means it accepts the large messages in chunks. Size means it checks the message size before trying to send, like that. Okay. Final delivery. User agent uses a protocol like IMAP. Okay. For final delivery. Hash commands to manipulate the folders and the messages. Alternatively, a web interface with proprietary protocol might be used. So capability, capability is telling about list of server capabilities, how long it can store the data. Login means log on to the server. Authenticate means verifying the method. Select a folder, select read only a folder, and create a folder, delete a folder, rename a folder. Like this, all these kinds of process you can use it. Final delivery protocols. SMTP is not used for the final delivery. It takes the messages and connects to a remote server, then to transfer the message. It is a push based protocol, and the user agent may not be connected to the internet when SMTP attempts to deliver the message. So IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, is used for final delivery. So this server listens to the port 143 and improvement over the older protocols. The POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3, for fewer features and is less secure. Webmail can also be used for the interface as an interface for sending and receiving a mail. It is an example of software provided as a service using the web. Okay, with this, our class is over. So all the 5 units have been completed. So go through this class, and if you have any doubt, you can. Thank you.